We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We shit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Izuku, he don't live in reality. Shake back off, become a fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We shit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and I'm back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Could Summon Heroic Spirits. This is part 28. And once again, sorry guys that it took a while for that of a new chapter for this to come out. The reason was, well, all the scripts that I had for that of this What If and a few other What Ifs that I was worked on during this year got corrupted on my phone. Every time when I tried accessing the apps and tried to read them, it always bounced me back to that of the homepage screen after all. So I had to basically delete them, retry, and re-listen to out of my past parts for this story. And not just that, but also for that of Dragon Prince Deku and also Lone Wolf Deku as well. So if you're wondering why it's taken a while for those certain what-ifs to basically come out, well, you now know the reason why. Because I had to rewrite them after all. So yeah. Any rate, with all that said, let's go with that of a recap. In the last part, the Hero Killer capture arc has come to an end, with those who are part of the supernatural, or rather, that of the magic side of the world, being that of the Mage Association, the Clock Tower, and the Church, are all basically wondering how they should handle that of Izuku, with many mages within the association accept Izuku, while some not so much. Even those in the Church also are willing to help out Izuku, however, some are very worried about that of the hero in training. As for those in the Clock Tower, since that of Zelrich is in charge, we already know their stance, to be honest. So, Izuku has support, but also those who may cause problems for him in the future. With even Izuku finding out that all of his servants are basically at their peak, at the strongest, thanks to BB basically explaining it after all. Not to mention finding out on why many people don't like that of Lady Archer, because she never gained her hero license through that of Hero School, but instead basically got it using her connections as a mage to do so. Plus, it also seems, even though Izuku was the one who stopped that of Stain, it looks like Stain's, ideals and the kind of person he is still spreading. Maybe not to the same degree without his speech, but there are those who still look up to him, with even one person taking an interest in Izuku, the one person who seemed to train Stain and wants the power of being able to summon heroic spirits from the throne of heroes. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we guys? The internships are now reaching its final conclusion, with many of the students from Class 1A learning quite a bit of new things, while some not so much. However, those involved with that of the Hosu incident basically found something out that they never thought that they would ever hear in their lives, about the idea about that Nomus are actually were once former people experimented on. However, they were told by that of their hero mentors to keep this a secret, to not alarm the public after all. Of course, they accepted it. Well, Shota reluctantly accepted, given that it was an order from his father, of course. As for Bakugo, he accepted it too, but part of him basically wants to take down the League even more. Even though he never really cared about that of Tsubasa after all, and just saw him as another extra minion after, to be honest, growing up as a kid. But there are three parts of him that can't let it go. As one of it basically saying that even though they weren't truly friends and he just saw him as one of his lackeys, his duty as a hero comes first. To bring justice to that of the very kid that he grew up with. Nothing more, nothing less. And that he won't lose to somebody who did that to him. While the other, it's basically a form of survivor's guilt in a way. Thinking that it could have happened to him. He could be turned into one of those things too if he wasn't careful. Or if he was closer to that of Tsubasa. Part of him feels like if he just knew or think of something possibly, he could have changed it. But he won't accept it, no matter what, and all that's left for Bakugo is basically a storm of jumbled up emotions. As for Izuku, he's aware that he can't tell anyone about this, and that he's okay with, but a part of him wants to also, just like that of Bakugo, wants to bring justice to that of Tsubasa as well. Before that of his, internship came to an end, he asked his mom if they still had that of, the phone number to that of the Tsubasas after all. Especially his grandfather, since he was his quirk doctor after all. With Inko over the phone, wondering if she did or not. Not entirely sure, as she needs to remember, going through her contacts. However, she's still... As for that of the phone number for that of Dr. Tsubasa, on the other hand... She tried calling his office, but they said that he basically moved to a different hospital. And as for the hospital they sent to, turns out that hospital got shut down about that of several years back. And now everybody else who used to work there and the patients are all elsewhere, making Izuku quite curious, actually. But with that, it just leaves Izuku wondering what has happened for the past couple of years. With now that of the internships finally coming to an end, with Lady Archer and her, sidekicks, seeing Izuku off alongside his servants. Mainly that of the servants who stand out, being Sigurd, Scathatch, and Nobu. With Sakura saying, "It's good to have you, kid. To be honest, you are very lucky to be chosen by that of Alaya." But then Izuku saying, "Alaya?" Within him thinking, I feel like I've heard that name before. But then, Scathatch spoke up saying, "You should. It's that very entity that gave you access to the throne of heroes, Izuku, and how you're even able to summon us." But then Sigurd commenting, crossing his arms around his chest saying, "Indeed, Alaya, one of the primordial entities that make up almost all of humanity's will, mainly their will of survival. But she's able to think outside of that of our own survival as well. Even that, she finds herself bored quite a bit of times as well. In a way, she sees that of her the very creations of her own existence as toys to play with." With then Izuku hearing that, feeling quite nervous. With then Nobu saying, "That's staying unlikely. Alaya sees everything as nothing but a tool, even that of us. In you." But then Izuku looking down a little bit, then saying, "Even so, she gave me this power, and she allowed me to meet all you. For that, I'm thankful, even if I am nothing but a pawn to her." Within, the white-haired pro-hero couldn't help but smile, before kneeling down to Izuku saying, "Keep that spirit high, Midoriya. Honestly, in this day and age, we need heroes like you." With Izuku shocked saying, like me? Why? What then, she's saying, "Your honesty, your willpower, and even your love for your servants." With Izuku shocked by this, but then she's standing up saying, have you ever been told about that of the Holy Grail Wars by your servants?" With then Izuku remembering saying only a little bit. Some of them say that if they were in a proper Holy Grail war, they would have to be fight against one another. To be honest, I can't see it like that. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if all my servants had to fight each other, or even I had to choose one of them to fight as well. But then, smiling, she's saying, it's that very reason. You're an outlier. Not a lot of, mages, especially those in that of the Holy Grail War, who only want that of the Grail to grant their wish and their wish alone, would see their servants as nothing but that of tools, disposable objects to be used for that of their journey to be a mage. Even those who are so talentless and so pathetic, who have no skill in basically controlling a heroic spirit, would basically see that of their spirit as their servants, as nothing but objects to prove that they are a talented mage. In short, you are one of the outliers who values your heroic spirits, who care deeply about them. If there was more people like you, then maybe you couldn't help but smile before placing a hand on that of Izuku's shoulder, leaving him shocked and basically causing his cheeks to blush, before then saying, then maybe it's possible that this world can truly change, and the mages of this generation could change as well. Leaving Izuku completely stumped and shocked, with even his servants can help but basically think, maybe this generation of mages can change, starting with her after all. Before then saying, now, you guys better head off. You don't want to be late for that of your train after all. Within hearing that, Izuku freaking out saying, oh crap, right, absolutely, thank you, as he bows alongside his servants, as they soon head off to that at the train station. Within, one of Lady Archer's sidekicks spoke up saying, ma'am, are you sure that this is possible? Possible for somebody like him to change how that of mages see the world and see themselves? Within, Sakura couldn't help but smirk, but then saying, of course I do. There's one thing I've learned while being the head of the MHA family. Fate is not set in stone. It can be changed in any way, depending on the person's intent to change fate. And that boy is the very definition of fate is changing for the better. Leaving out the sidekicks completely shocked, and the descendant of Shiro Emiya heading back into her agency, about to get back to work as a pro and a mage. Arriving back home to that of his, large Japanese-style mansion-like home, within taking his shoes off saying, I'm home, Mom. Within, Inko shouting, welcome home, sweetie. Did you enjoy that of your internship? Within, Izuku shouting, yeah, it was actually quite fun. Within keeping quiet saying, I even helped out in a major case, actually. Within, Inko saying, oh, right, that's true. Kotaro told me so much, alongside that of Nightingale, too. I'm just glad that you were safe. Within, Izuku couldn't help but basically blush a little bit, while also feeling quite nervous, saying, if I told her the truth that I fought against a hero killer, who knows how much she would basically worry for me. With Izuku mentally quiet himself, within, Medusa spoke up saying, most definitely, she would basically pull you out of the hero course. With Sky Hatch saying, oh, most definitely, Lady Inko would definitely do something like that. With even Sheba speaking in Izuku's mind and spirit form, saying, she's basically said it a couple times when she was at the company, actually, especially to me, how much she's worried for you quite a bit as a pro hero, and how much she's scared for your life after all. But then hearing all that, Izuku couldn't help but stop in place, realizing that how much he's worrying his mother for that of his dream of wanting to be a hero, to save lives and protect people. But doing so puts his mother in that of an endless state of worry about him, making him clench his fists before taking a deep breath, as then entering that of the main living room, within Inko saying, oh, not to mention, we have a guest. I say that she's a friend of yours since she knew your quirk, after all. Within, Izuku saying, wait, what do you mean by... Within, noticing that of a quite beautiful, muscular, and also quite dangerous former HPSC hero, Lady Nagant, as she's just basically just sitting there at the table drinking some tea, with them saying, I'm glad you finally shows up, Midoriya. It's finally good to see you again. With then Izuku blinking multiple times, wondering on who she is, before then looking closely saying, Lady Nagant? With then Sheba soon appears saying, it's about time you finally came here. As the ancient Middle Eastern queen, not even too fazed by her appearance. With Izuku, on the other hand, looking at that of his caster-class servant, saying, Sheba, what is the meaning of this? Why is she... With then saying, we'll explain later. With then Sheba basically having that an adorable and not even suspicious tone, saying, oh, Miss Inko, could you possibly bring us some more tea? We have some things to discuss. With her saying, oh, of course, dearie. I'm making you some tea right now. Just take some time to relax while you can. As Izuku looks at his mother with that of a nervous and somewhat, quite confused smile, saying, sure, Mom, I promise. As still looking back at that of the former pro that he also admires quite a bit, growing up as a kid, as she's just seeing all this so nonchalantly, not even phased or even caring at all. Within them heading to that of the meditation garden, with that, as everything is so calm and everything, even seeing that of the koi fish still surviving even after all this time. With then, soon looking at that of Lady Nagant sitting right next to him, as his face is quite blushing, however, basically leading to that of both Sky Hatch, Medusa, Himiko, and a little bit of Sheba, even though she's, not even doesn't even show it that quite well, given her, perfect poker face after all. Within, Odysseus soon spoke up saying, so, care to explain on why somebody who's with that of the Hero Public Safety Commission, the same commission I hear that has been causing nothing but annoyance and harassing that of our young master here. Within, Sigurd also with that of his, fellow science fiction wearing armor from heroic spirit comrade can help but say, agreed. And last time I checked, she was also in Tartarus as well, due to her crime of killing a fellow pro at the same time. Or rather, it's what the commission basically stated after all. Within hearing this, Lady Nagant, or I should say Kaina, basically stopped sipping her drink for a bit, before then bringing it down and sighing, saying, I had to thank that of your quirk, or rather your servants for this, Midoriya, and the rest of you, mainly those two, as she basically jabs fingers at that of Sheba and also Kotaro, with Izuku's eyes widening in shock, looking back at that of his caster servant and his assassin class servant, saying, Sheba, Kotaro, you guys made contact with her, but why would you? But then, Kotaro saying, we'll explain in a bit, Izuku. Or at least, Sheba will. But then, Nobu getting annoyed at that of the queen of Sheba, saying, I'm pretty sure this damn fox won't even say a damn thing at all. Seriously, you casters are always a pain in the ass to deal with. Then, she can help but basically smirk a little bit, saying, aw, no need to be jealous, Nobunaga. We just have more foresight than somebody who couldn't even think outside of Japan, after all, and people annoying her for their religious zealotry. Within hearing this, Nobu being held by that of Himiko and Medusa, can't help but say, you want to say that again, you go-digging fox? I swear to God, I'll put a goddamn bullet through your eyes! As why her arms are being held by that of the Avenger and also ruler class servant, her legs, she's basically kicking her legs frantically, almost like that of a child throwing a tantrum after all. With Izuku basically having that of multiple sweat drops, within, Kaina can help but be blinking her eyes multiple times saying, seriously, you all are really supposed to be ancient figures from history? It's starting to become hard to believe as time goes on. with many of them say, reality is stranger than fiction. With then, she's saying, good point. With soon, Izuku basically out of his thoughts saying, so, Sheba, explain why you and Kotaro allowed a wanted criminal to know who we are. Within, Sheba basically sitting down right next to that of her master on that of his left before explaining, saying, Izuku at the time, she was basically aiming to kill your mother. Within, Izuku's eyes widening in shock. Before then, you could feel a bit of his mana begin to leak out as his hands begin to basically twitch, almost to the point that they are basically he's about to use that of projection magic craft, and also the new that of tracing magic craft that he learned from Lady Archer as well, to create that of one of Bakudo or Kenshiro actually, or even that of passion or fury, either to basically kill the woman that he used to admire as a pro hero. Within, soon, Lady Nagant saying, I was ordered to do so, however, I refuse to. If anything, I hesitant on trying to kill an innocent person who didn't deserve it. Within hearing this, Izuku's rage was simmering down a little bit, as Nagant continued saying, the commission, after what happened with the sports festival, and hearing that Hawks is a little bit less cooperative with you unlike he used to be, with Izuku's temper going completely down, now completely focused, and realizing that she's right, since Hawks hasn't bugged him in a while now, not even during the incident with that of the hero killer in Hosu, as kinda continued saying, they allowed me out of prison, told me that if I could basically keep an eye and basically kill you if you cause any harm or any instability in that of their perfect hero system, they would bring down my sentencing and free me from Tartarus, wipe my slate clean, and basically prepare for that of a cover story on why I was freed from Tartarus. At first, I went along with it pretty easily, mainly just to get out of there. But after I studied you, realized what you were going through, why the commission was so worried about you, I realized, once again, they were in the wrong. Their corruption and hunger for power continues to show no matter what. So when I was planning on doing reconnaissance, those two basically figured me out. And I thought for sure that they were going to kill me, but they didn't. Instead, they offered me a choice to help out and basically keep an eye on the commission for them as well, alongside Hawks, or they kill me right then and there. And since you can see that I'm here, then you know what I chose. But Izuku still completely and utterly shocked by this. With Sigurd soon spoke up saying, so, you're a double agent for us? Within, she's saying, not necessarily. Currently, the Public Safety Commission still thinks that I'm basically reconnaissing. Or better yet, I had nonstop calls saying on why that I wasn't in Hosu when they found out that you were there with Lady Archer. Plus, there's also the fact that they now that there's an order for the Safety Commission to stop going after you by the Prime Minister themselves, they're now more determined to basically lock me back up in prison or give me an ultimatum. With Izuku still completely shocked by this, looking at that of the purple-haired, multicolored heroine, saying, either I kill you now, or they send Hawks to kill me afterwards. Those are my options now. With Izuku still completely shocked, but a part of him not entirely shocked. As again, this is the Hero Public Safety Commission. The same commission that kept on harassing his family throughout almost his entire junior high year after all. Then they kept on bugging him with even sending Hawks to spy on him and his family. And now, they even sent Lady Nagant to kill him, just because they're worried that he ruins their perfect little idea of Hero Society order, making Izuku even more disgusted on the current Hero Society. Within hearing this, everything is so quiet. However, that quiet basically faded for a bit when somebody is basically munching on some sweets right now. And that person being, well, BB. We've seen the Sakura-like moon cancer servant basically just eating sweets like nonchalantly. With then Nobu saying, seriously, right now? With even Nightingale commenting saying, show at least some respect, BB, in this situation. With then she's saying, why should I? I mean, it's not like it's gonna matter after all. With then everybody looking at her, with soon she could help but basically smile saying, you forget, I'm a moon cancer. Besides me coming from a class that never should have existed in the Throne of Heroes, my speciality comes from that of interacting with technology. If you want, I could basically air out almost all the dirty secrets of the Hero Public Safety Commission right here and now. And Little Miss Sniper Arm could basically be safe and sound, but still somewhat child for that of her assassinations after all. But given that you are basically a groomed child turned into an assassin, I think you'd be more fair off after, to be honest. And given a lightened sentencing, how does that sound? With it, as she gives off that of an adorable, innocent smile, but coming off as more sarcastic and somewhat entitledly arrogant. Within, Lady Nagant, alongside all the other servants, well, except that of 3 of them, aren't really surprised that BB offered this, with even Izuku saying, oh, whoa, hold up, BB, you can't! Hearing that, she looking at her green-haired master with that of confusion, saying, and why the hell should I not? I mean, it'd be easy just to get this shit taken care of here and now. And then, boom, Hero Public Safety Commission out of the way. You can focus on being a hero. Little Miss Assassin here basically goes free and is free from that scrutiny from the public. Hawks most definitely might take up his position as that of the Hero Public Safety Commission, and those who are actually wanting to change that of the corrupt government bureau. Also add that with Hawks's, well, little testimony you guys had a few months back and still do, and it's basically bye-bye Hero Public Safety Commission. And hello, new, properly good Public Safety Commission. Huh? Within hearing that, Sheba saying, thinking things through several steps ahead, but not far enough, BB. Then, looking at that of the ancient, one of the smartest queens in heroic spirits in the Throne of Heroes, as Sheba soon spoke up, once again explaining the situation, saying, we already have plans on getting rid of the Hero Public Safety Commission. Right now, all we're doing is basically laying out the steps on doing so. With each new servant that Izuku summons, we had to revise that plan a little bit. And each time, it improves and grows stronger. Adding you, we're basically ahead of schedule by that of at least that of 2 years, to be honest. We can probably interact our plan in that of 1 year during Izuku's 2nd year. Within hearing that, everybody's completely shocked, with even Odysseus saying, that is actually quite wise, but within BB saying, so why not do it a little early? As answering her question isn't that of Sheba, but actually Himiko, as the first Empress of Japan, spoke up saying, the League of Villains and the backlash from the public, isn't that right? With Sheba nodding, as Himiko continues, no longer holding on to that of, well, Nobunaga, as she goes to that of her fellow heroic spirit, with the ruler class servant showing that of her years of wisdom, instead of her being the love-struck girl towards Izuku. Anarchy and chaos. If people find out the truth about the Hero Public Safety Commission, that everything that they've been doing, all the double dealing, all the manipulation, all the lives, from that of villains to heroes to even civilians, would basically put the entire country into panic. And the people who would take advantage of this are basically the League of Villains. Possibly even villains who are not even tied to the League as well. Within Skyhatch, also commenting saying, we are aware that there is a villain who's said to be the symbol of fear. the villain who controls the underworld, the same villain that All Might says that he took out himself. What if there's a chance that he's still alive even now, and yet All Might isn't aware of this? It's surprising that a man-child such as Tomura Shigaraki has so much resources at his disposal, and yet he has no idea how to properly use them, and that of his advantages. Within hearing that, Izuku's eyes widening in that of horror, saying, "Skyhatch, you're not saying," as she looks at that of her adorable student slash master, saying, "Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, Izuku. If we do this, if we bring down the Hero Public Safety Commission, we'll basically be falling into that of All for One's plans, the League's plans, and other villains' plans as well. They'll have the chaos to basically do as they please. That's why," grabbing BB by that of her collar, saying, "We need to be patient. Don't throw everything we've worked for under the bus just because you're so impatient, BB. I can understand wanting to help, but not thinking things properly through is what's going to cost us everything in the future. Understood?" Within hearing that, she couldn't help but remove that of Skyhatch's arm, within saying, Yeah, I get it, Miss Queen of Shadows. All I'm saying is, we now have a way to basically bring down those bastards. Seriously." As she couldn't help but basically puff her lips a little bit, and that of annoyance while being scolded. Within, Izuku seeing his Moon Cancer servant feeling down, as he couldn't help but sigh, saying, "BB, you made a great plan, if anything. And to be honest, thank you." Within, she completely shocked by this, looking at that of her green-haired master, with him continuing going on, saying, "But the others are right. Let's take our time with this. Prepare for everything. Gather up those who can basically keep control over the information, and also making sure that the heroes and all threats that could take advantage of this are dealt with ahead of time. Does that sound okay?" Within hearing that, she couldn't help but basically huff before sighing, saying, Yeah. Again, I get it. Honestly, your kindness and sweetness and trying to console me is so damn annoying. It makes me feel like I'm truly the bad guy now." As she basically pouts to herself, with Izuku feeling a little bit caught off guard by that, as Kotaro soon saying, "So, since you're here, you've made your decision, haven't you?" As Kaina sighs, before then saying, "Yes, I want to help bring down the commission, but I can't do that if I'm continue running away all the time, so how about I work with you guys?" Within, Odysseus saying, "It would be working to have somebody who knows the commission's secrets in and out, not to mention on how they operate too. Hawk said that he'll basically keep the commission off of us, but he hasn't given us any information properly that will put the commission in their place." Within, Medusa commenting saying, "That's putting it lightly. He's still a loyal dog. Nothing more, nothing less. He's just seeing this as that of an, transaction between us. We don't tell his secrets, and he doesn't get in trouble for ours." Within, Nobu commenting saying, "As much as bringing her in would be great and all, let's also bring in the fact that we cannot, bring in that of a wanted criminal." Within, Izuku saying, "Wait, what do you mean? She said that they basically let her out for free if she killed me." Within, Nobu saying, "Oh please, let's be honest. We've been basically on our internship for a week now, and she's been out a month? This is probably seen for the commission as a way to basically throw her under the bus and say that she escaped from Tartarus. This will also bring up that of brownie points and any other reasoning for them to come after us, even though Lady Archer did say that the Prime Minister themselves kept them off our asses, thanks to the Mage Association. They're a shady organization. They're definitely going to break that of our country's leader just to get after you again. I wouldn't put it past them. Loyalty for them is basically loyalty to only them." Within hearing all that, soon kind of saying, well, figures that some of you would already figure that out too. With Izuku sighing, realizing, so Hawks is not even going to be enough. Not even the word from that of the Prime Minister himself is enough to basically stop for them to stop coming after me. So we just need to cover our bases. Find people who can basically cover for the Hero Public Safety Commission once we put an end to them. With Sheba soon saying, exactly. Which we already have countermeasures. There are several pro heroes that I know that can basically cover for this. If we count All Might among them, it would make things a lot more easier too. Also add that with our newest contact as well. Within, Izuku realizing, oh, Lady Archer. Within, Odysseus saying, exactly, her connection to that of the, Mage Association and other promised organizations, with making calling out that of the Public Safety Commission a lot more easier. Within, Izuku smiling, saying, agreed, but how about we don't call her up just yet? We just left her agency about that of several hours ago. No need to basically bog her down with other demands or favors just yet. With Sigurd saying, agreed. For now, we have a way forward. We have that of those inside of the HPSC that we can use against them. We also have that of the law, every single illegal and corrupted thing they have done to that of Hero Society here in Japan, thanks to BB. And now, we have that of those who could be willing to aid us and help us against them as well when it comes to putting them down after this year is over. With the help of the Mage Association and even possibly many top-ranking pros, the HPSC will finally know what it feels to be hit with true justice. With as the white and black-haired, glasses-wearing servant couldn't help but basically have a gleam through that of his glasses. With Izuku seeing that of the true determination and ideals of his saber-class servant, he couldn't help but smile, but then saying, agreed. After all of this, I think I'm going to go to bed. Within, without warning, Himiko, Scott Hatch, Sheba, and Medusa basically all say, agreed, we should all go to bed now. Within, Izuku completely caught off guard by that, having a frantic look saying, wait, but you guys are servants. You guys don't need to sleep. Within, all 4 female servants saying, right, of course we don't. With Nobu basically slapping her cap off her head, with Kotaro basically couldn't help but have that of a, somewhat goofy smile on his face, looking at them basically, mess up. Odysseus and Sigurd couldn't help but smirk, with leaving that of Kaina couldn't help but basically blink multiple times saying, so, I'm guessing I should probably go too. Within, Sheba saying, out of the question. I'll speak to that of Lady Inko about that of your living situations here. We have many spared rooms after all, given that there's only just, Izuku and Inko, and we only use the other rooms as mainly that of storages, after all. Like Izuku said, we as heroic spirits don't need to sleep. With her smirking saying, I see. I'm guessing the 4 of you just wanted to cuddle him, didn't you? Basically calling out all 4 of them, with many of them blushing, with Medusa basically blushing in that of anger annoyance, with Himiko basically, pressing her fingers together over and over again in that of embarrassment, with Scott Hatch basically scoffing a little bit, and also Sheba basically saying, pretty much. Within BB basically making the atmosphere even more awkward, saying, if you guys just want to screw our master, go ahead, there's nothing wrong with it. Making all the servants' faces go completely and utterly red. Turning once a serious conversation now into that of nothing but a goddamn joke. But with all that aside, looks like Izuku's battle with the HPSC and his journey to become a hero, roadblocks ahead. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, sorry that this wasn't an action-packed battle chapter and more to basically state Izuku's current situation after all. Also, originally this chapter was going to go all the way into that of Izuku heading back into UA, But that was in the original script, so I decided to just cut it down a little bit and focus on that of, well, the conversation between Izuku's servants and Lady Nagant and their plans on basically dismantling the Hero Public Safety Commission once and for all, instead of just blackmailing them or holding them back. But they need contingency plans, stepping stones to make sure that when the Hero Public Safety Commission goes down, that the villains won't take advantage of it like they do in a certain main timeline after the first Paranormal Liberation War and during the Dark Deku arc. But don't worry, I won't leave you guys too hanging for too long in the coming weeks. So, any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification, keep to date my videos uploaded to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my other channel, my side channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. All linked in the description below. As for my PayPal, still on the fence about that given the bullshit they have been doing lately, so yeah. So with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later guys, hope you all take care. You know what to do, Shiro. Take us home.
Hi everyone, this is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!